Welcome to the new chapter in physics, chapter 12, Thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of heat, temperature, and conversion of heat to other forms and vice versa. And first we will discuss various terms involved in thermodynamics. That means the terms or the physical quantities with which we deal with in thermodynamics. The first term is thermodynamic system. A thermodynamic system, it consists of a large number of atoms or molecules at a particular temperature, pressure, and volume. So a thermodynamic system is characterized by values of pressure, volume, and temperature. And the system can be in solid, liquid, or gaseous state. Surroundings means everything outside the thermodynamic system can be called as the surroundings. The things which are not included in the system, which comes in the vicinity of the system, can be included in the surroundings of the system. Now we will discuss thermodynamic variables. The quantities which we mentioned, which are pressure, volume, and temperature, which characterizes a thermodynamic system, are called as thermodynamic variables. When we speak about thermal equilibrium, equilibrium is referred with respect to either the surroundings or with respect to any other system. So, in thermal equilibrium, the temperatures of the two systems will be equal if we are considering the thermal equilibrium of a system with respect to other. If we speak about the thermal equilibrium with respect to surroundings, the system and surroundings will have the same temperature. That's what we mean by thermal equilibrium. When we speak about thermal equilibrium between system and surroundings, we have to speak about two types of walls, adiabatic wall and diathermic wall. So a wall is a physical object which divides or which gives a separation between either two systems or between system and surroundings. Adiabatic wall means it is an insulating wall which do not allow any type of heat exchange or energy exchange from one to another. That means if we have an adiabatic wall between two systems, there won't be any heat exchange between the two systems. Or if there is an insulating wall or the adiabatic wall between system and surroundings, there is no heat exchange. So the wall which do not allow any heat exchange is called as adiabatic wall. And the one which allow heat exchange is called as diathermic wall. So if the two systems are separated by a diathermic wall, surely there will be exchange of heat between the two systems. Now coming to the zeroth law of thermodynamics. So as the name suggests, why zeroth law? Of course, in the history of thermodynamics, the first law of thermodynamics was introduced. So only after the first law, the more fundamental law, which is regarded as more fundamental, that law was introduced. That is why that law was called as zeroth law. So that is the most fundamental rule or the law in thermodynamics, zeroth law. R.H. Fowler formulated this law. According to zeroth law, two systems in thermal equilibrium with a third system separately are in thermal equilibrium with each other. So the law means that if we have two systems which are in thermal equilibrium with a third system separately, for example, we consider three systems A, B and C, as it is given in the diagram, and it's given that these A and B are in thermal equilibrium with the C separately. It means that A and C are in thermal equilibrium and B and C are in thermal equilibrium. If it is so, according to this zeroth law, it states that if this condition is satisfied, then the two systems A and B will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. That is the meaning of the zeroth law. So if we have the three systems given like this, so for the systems A and C to be in thermal equilibrium, and for the system B and C to be in thermal equilibrium, the wall between the three, that means this particular wall, it should be a diathermic wall, because for them to be thermal equilibrium, there should be heat exchange between A and C and between B and C. And suppose this wall is a adiabatic wall which do not allow any heat exchange. So we can say that here A and C are in thermal equilibrium, B and C are in thermal equilibrium separately. Now if we exchange the type of walls, that means if we make this wall as adiabatic and this wall as diathermic, it can be seen that the moment when we change the type of wall between A and B, there won't be any heat exchange because A and B are already in thermal equilibrium. So there won't be any heat exchange taking place between A and B, even if we change the adiabatic wall to diathermic wall. That is the consequence of the zeroth law. So if the two systems A and B, if they are in thermal equilibrium separately with the third system C, then the two systems A and B will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. That is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. In terms of temperatures also we can state this zeroth law. That means if TA equal to TB, that is the condition for thermal equilibrium between A and B, and TA equal to TC, that is the condition for thermal equilibrium between A and C, then TA should be equal to TB. That is the zeroth law. Now coming to the next terms in the thermodynamics, heat, internal energy and work. Heat, it is actually a form of energy, and actually heat is that part of internal energy which is transferred from one body to another on account of temperature difference. So actually we know when there is a temperature difference, heat flows from one body to another body. So it is actually the heat, what we call as that heat, it is this internal energy. So the internal energy which is transferred from one body to another body on account of temperature difference, that form of internal energy we call as heat. And what is meant by internal energy? Internal energy is the sum of kinetic energies and potential energies of the molecules. So the molecules, they will be having both kinetic energy and potential energy. The sum total of all the kinetic energy and potential energy of a system is called as internal energy, and it is represented by the letter U. Now work means it is actually the work done. We say work done by a system, or that can be the work done on the system. So work, it has the usual meaning as we have already discussed, and in this chapter it is actually the energy transfer brought about by means that do not involve such a temperature difference. So actually whenever there is a change in internal energy, that change in internal energy is associated with a change in temperature. but we cannot say that when work is done or when work is done on the system or by the system, there will be a temperature difference. That we cannot say. So that work is actually an energy transfer, but it is not necessary that it involve a temperature difference. But exchange of internal energy, that means exchange of heat, is always associated with a difference in temperature. Now coming to first law of thermodynamics. According to the first law, actually the first law, it deals with the changes taking place in a thermodynamic system when a particular amount of heat energy is given to the system. According to this law, the amount of heat given to a system, it is equal to the sum of increase in the internal energy of the system and the external work done. So when we give an amount of energy to the system utilizes the heat energy given for two purposes. First, to raise its internal energy and to do some external work. That is the meaning of first law of thermodynamics. If delta Q stands for the amount of heat given to the system and delta U, the change in internal energy of the system, and delta W stands for the work done by the system or on the system, then according to first law of thermodynamics, delta Q equal to delta U plus delta W. As we took delta Q is the heat supplied to the system. That means either it can be the heat supplied to the system or it can be the heat liberated by the system. So delta Q is the heat supplied to the system by the surroundings. Delta W, work done by the system on the surroundings, and delta U is the change in internal energy of the system. And at constant pressure, we know actually delta W will be P into delta V. When pressure is taken as constant, delta W is taken as P delta V. So the expression for first law of thermodynamics, it becomes delta Q equal to delta U plus P delta V.